Right, welcome back to another episode of Steve's Shed. Good to see you back. I want to say thanks for all the comments, likes and shares. As I can see the subscriptions are going up, so there's a few of you out there who are enjoying this. So firstly, I just wanted to say a big thanks for that. Secondly, let's run through what we're doing today. Right then, so this is one of the jobs for today, is the clutch and flywheel. I'm going to put all of this in the car. So what I've got here is a retro Ford Z-Tech flywheel re-drilled for a Pinto clutch. This is a different pressure plate, not the original retro Ford kit one, because the one I had, I snapped a couple of these fingers off and it got rusty in storage, so I had to find a new one. I looked everywhere for one of these at a reasonable price because I didn't want to buy the full kit with release bearing and friction plate and also the release bearing. So I managed to find a company on Facebook, really helpful. I'll drop a link to them below. This is a uprated pressure plate, so it's got 4 straps instead of 2. Don't know whether that'll make the clutch pedal really heavy or what, but apparently it's meant to uprate the clamping force, so I'll take that because this thing's going to get an absolute kicking when it's put together. Now, the reason I didn't want to buy a 3-piece clutch kit is because I've got this, and this is from the original build of the car when I had a Type 9 instead of an RX-8. And this, if we can see, get you up in the light there. Is he going to pick it up? No, it's not. It's an AP Racing CP 53525. These things are non-existent now. These were the heavy duty, if I'm right, the heavy duty clutch set that you used to get from retro Ford back in the day. I mean, this build is probably what, 6 years ago I bought all this, apart from this. So I had this, and this is a really good friction plate. It's only got about 1,000 miles on it, so I wanted to keep that. Because I've got the RX-8 box, the internet's told me that I needed a RX-8 release bearing. So I've got one of those. It is a full metal one, because I know you can get plastic and metal ones. And everyone said the metal ones are the best ones to get. So that's what I've done. I've also got new clutch cover bolts from Retro Bolt UK. They're on eBay, but their website is just there as well, if you can see that, www.retrobolts.co.uk. And last but not least, I've also gone for some uprated flywheel bolts, because like I said, this thing's going to get its arse handed to it when I get it on the road, and yeah, everything's built for abuse basically. So I got these from my friends at Mar Motorsport. They're brilliant. You just need to ask them, well, tell them what you're looking for, and most of the things they've got, they're really fast on the postage and really good on their prices. So yeah, recommend them 100%, and I'll see if I can drop a link into them as well. So that's the first job, well, one of the jobs, and the second job is just to finish off these straps for the radiator. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been commenting and following me on this build, because one of the people in particular, Mike Davies, I believe his name is, from the Mark II Cortina Club, he, on Facebook, he suggested that I turn these top straps to the side, instead of having it like that. That way, when it's together, the radiator won't bounce up and down. I thought that's an absolutely brilliant idea, so thanks very much, Mike. I shall get on with doing that. Right then, so as you can see, I've got the bottom strap in place. Get a bit of focus. Top strap in place on both sides now. I'm going to go with the recommendation because I think that's a great idea. And what I'll do is I'll just tack them in. And then when it comes to final assembly, and I've got everything back out the way, I will fully weld them in and dress them nicely. But for now, that'll do. Let's get welding. if you can see properly, but that's them just tacked in place. I have moved the positions, so what I'll do is when I come for final fitment, so I'll just weld these holes up, but the bottom ones I'll still use, but just for now, that's tacked in. That is solid and not going anywhere. It's got a little bit of movement in it, but when it's all properly in there, I can't see that having any issues whatsoever. It's still below where it needs to be, so happy days. Right then, so the bolts I want are here, another one down there, and if we go on the other side, there's one here, and another one up here somewhere, so we'll get them undone, and then, yeah, get the bottom ones off, and take a look at what's going on from there. Right then, join me underneath. So here is the RX8 box. This is, let's see if we can get a bit of light, an adapter from Butcher Engineering. Lee is a great bloke. He does all the RX8 conversion kits. So I got this universal mount off him. I got the conversion plate and a prop shaft from him. Really top bloke, really good quality stuff, which you'll see in a minute. But yeah, I've got to take that off, and I think we're gonna have to take the exhaust off as well, which is a nightmare. But let's just see how it goes. I might try not taking the exhaust off first and see what happens. Right then, people, there we go. There's the back of the engine. See, it's all sealed up. I rebuilt the whole thing myself. But I've got ALD Developments ported and polished head, and a load of other trick bits that he's done to it. They call it he calls it a track spec head. If you watch Marcus Hayes, I think he's got the same cylinder head as I have. So I can't wait to see what his sounds like, because mine's going to sound exactly the same. So yeah, and retro Ford sump. I will eventually at some point go around this whole car and tell you what I've actually had done to it and what I've actually got on it, but for now, yeah, the engine's rebuilt. Had machine work done by James Goldstraw at Grace Engineering, top bloke in Newbury. So yeah, he's helped me out on this as well. So there we go. What I need to do now is get the ARP bolts out and basically find out what the torque spec is, put the flywheel up there and tighten away. Every now and again you have a little win. So I bought these bolts, and unlike me, I was actually prepared, because I actually wrote what I need to torque them to on the back. Winning! Right, so cracking out the torque wrench. God, I forgot what they were called for a second there. This, nice bit of kit this. I'm not a professional mechanic. This is only stuff I do at the weekends. But yeah, really happy with this torque wrench. No, it's not digital. This is the model. Nice bit of kit this. Reasonably priced. Came with a certificate. And the thing I like about this one is it's so easy to read, being black and the white digits and numbers. So yeah, well done Sealy for that one. Top effort. So all these ARP bolts come with the assembly lubricant. Now what I like to do, whether this is right or wrong, is, can't focus, is I just cover the threads and make sure there isn't loads hanging off. Just cover the threads, make sure all the threads have got a nice coating on them, and then yeah, that's it basically, and then torque them up to spec. Right then, so that's them all torqued in. I'm an idiot. It wasn't a 21mm, it was a 19mm 12-sided 12-point socket I ended up using in the end. So yeah, not a 21 milli, it was a 19 milli, and I'll show you how I locked the front to stop the crank from turning. So if you come over here, I'll just put a socket on the front of the crank, long bar. Luckily I've got no inner wings, and yeah, that stopped the crank from moving so I could torque it up. Perfect, jobbed. I am an idiot. So, what was I going to do today? Oh, sort out the radiator straps, put the flywheel in, put the clutch in, gearbox back on, maybe take a look at the gearbox mount. So yeah, moving along nicely. So we've done the straps for the radiator, we've put the flywheel on. What do you need to put a clutch in? What do you need? Some tools, yeah. Chipper attitude, check. Clutch alignment tool, idiot. It's just on one of my to buy tools lists, in the good old watch list on eBay. So what I ended up having to do is send my neighbour out to Euro Car Parts, good old Euro Car Parts, on a Sunday to go and buy me a clutch alignment tool so I can actually carry on. So I'm waiting for him to come back at the moment. And yeah, we'll have a little tidy up and a move around, and hopefully when you see me I'll have had a bit of lunch and we'll crack on. Can't believe I've done that, idiot. Oh well. Right then, I'll learn to speak. My mate was an absolute legend. Ta-da! Ta-da! Right, so we are ready to go, people. Let's wang this in then, shall we? Right then, so you join me back underneath the car. I did all that off camera because that was definitely not child-friendly language that I was using. I even had to call in one of my neighbours to give me a hand. He left feeling very sorry for me because that is a heavy thing. But we're all back together now. So next thing I've got to do, exhaust is all on. Next thing I've got to do is start a motor. So I'm going to find some bolts for that, and then we'll wire that in quickly. Right then, I've got one of these bolts in, but I just need to find a couple of bolts to go from here that go through the adapter plate. So hopefully I've got some short ones, short M10 bolts I could do here, and then there's one at the bottom. And then there's one here I've put in already, and then we should be good to go from there. Right then, that would be the end of today's proceedings. Reason being, that bolt you can see there needs to be a cap head bolt with an Allen key head, Allen key head bolt, whatever you want to call it, because I can't get a spanner on there to tighten it up. Nor can I do it with the, that one's alright, but the one tucked away up in there, I can't do it either, so that also needs to be an Allen key head. So that's the end of it for today. So yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. Have a look at the Facebook page, Instagram, do the usual like, share and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Take it easy.